plane was already burning when it tore across the Scottish night sky. Moments later, a parachute opened in the darkness, carrying one of the most powerful men in Nazi Germany toward a muddy farm field. Rudolf Hess was supposed to be second only to Hitler himself. Instead, on the night of May 10, 1941, he became something else entirely. A mystery. Just hours earlier, Hess had climbed into a Messerschmitt fighter near Munich and taken off alone. No escort, no radio contact, no official orders. By dawn, he would be a prisoner of the British Crown, and the world would be asking the same question ever since. Why did he do it? Hess flew low and fast, skimming along the Rhine, then cutting northwest into darkness over the North Sea. Nearly 1,000 miles, navigating by maps and instinct, dodging British radar and air defenses. Around 10:30 p.m., fuel was gone. Scotland lay beneath him. He bailed out just short of his destination. He hit the ground hard, a sprained ankle, but alive. A local farmer found the wreckage still smoldering in his field. The pilot gave a false name at first, Captain Alfred Horn. But the truth surfaced quickly. This wasn't a pilot, it was Rudolf Hess. And Hess wasn't asking for mercy. He was asking for a meeting. Calmly, insistently, Hess demanded to speak with the Duke of Hamilton, a Scottish aristocrat he believed could help end the war. In Hess's mind, the Duke was part of a secret British faction ready to overthrow Churchill and negotiate peace. That belief would prove catastrophic. The Duke of Hamilton was not a conspirator. He was a loyal British officer, a personal friend of Winston Churchill. Yet Hess clung to the idea that he carried a message powerful enough to change history. His proposal was simple and breathtaking. Germany would guarantee the survival of the British Empire. In exchange, Britain would accept German dominance over continental Europe. It was a vision Hitler himself had occasionally entertained. Two empires, two spheres of influence, no more war between them. But Hess had arrived with no authority to prove it. From the start, he insisted he acted alone. No orders, no approval, no backing. In doing so, he sealed his fate. Rather than a diplomat, Britain saw a prisoner. Rather than a peace envoy, they saw a liability. Churchill was blunt. Either Hess was dangerously unstable or catastrophically misguided. In either case, Britain would not negotiate. Hess was moved under heavy guard, interrogated, isolated. At one point, he was locked inside the Tower of London. Days turned to weeks. Hope collapsed into despair. On June 16th, barely 5 weeks after his landing, Hess attempted to end his life by throwing himself down a staircase. He survived, broken, injured, and unraveling. Doctors examined him. Psychiatrists observed him. What they saw disturbed them. Paranoia, depression, delusions. The once formidable deputy of the Reich now appeared deeply unwell. Even Churchill later described the flight as an act of lunatic benevolence. Not evil, exactly, but profoundly irrational. Britain concluded Hess was a lone actor, driven by obsession, not strategy. Germany reacted very differently. When Hitler learned what had happened, he exploded. Publicly, the regime insisted Hess had acted without permission. Privately, witnesses described a scene of raw fury. Albert Speer later recalled Hitler's reaction as animalistic, incoherent rage. What terrified him wasn't betrayal alone. It was optics. The fear that the world might believe Germany was secretly seeking peace. That allies might see weakness. That Churchill could twist the incident into propaganda. Within days, Hess was erased. Stripped of titles, removed from office, declared mentally ill. Joseph Goebbels told the public Hess had suffered a sudden psychological break. Sane one day, insane the next. The message was clear. The regime had disowned him, yet questions refused to die. Did Hess truly act alone? Decades later, a document emerged from Soviet archives, a statement by Hess's aide claiming Hitler had known that Hess was sent as a disposable peace probe before invading the Soviet Union. If it failed, the Reich would deny everything. It was explosive and deeply contested. The testimony came from Soviet captivity under unknown conditions, with obvious incentives to fabricate. Most historians remain skeptical. Multiple witnesses described Hitler's reaction as genuine shock. Some accounts even claim the Luftwaffe was ordered to intercept Hess mid-flight, too late to stop him. Another theory pointed west instead of east. Had British intelligence lured Hess in? The Soviet leadership believed so. They insisted MI6 had planted false signals, possibly even letters forged in the Duke of Hamilton's name, to bait Hess across the North Sea. It would explain his confidence, his certainty that someone was waiting. But no definitive proof has ever surfaced. What remains undeniable is this: Hess spent the rest of the war in captivity. In 1945, he stood trial at Nuremberg, detached, erratic, at times claiming amnesia. He was convicted of crimes against peace, sentenced to life imprisonment. For decades, he lived alone in Spandau prison, the sole inmate, guarded by 4 occupying powers, a ghost of the regime he once helped build. In 1987, at age 93, Rudolf Hess died in his cell, officially by suicide. Even that ending sparked new theories. And to the very end, Hess never fully explained why he flew into the darkness that night. Whether driven by madness, ambition, or a doomed hope for peace, his flight remains one of the strangest acts of World War II. A moment when history briefly swerved and left behind a question no one has ever truly answered.
Of the defendant, yes. The fact that he has already spoken for 20 minutes, and the tribunal has indicated to the defendants